This is Jason O'Connell, creative director at Saber Interactive. With the release of Evil Dead the game almost here, we sat down with a few of our favorite community YouTube channels to answer their questions and talk in depth about the gameplay of playing as a survivor and as the Kandarian demon. For even more, make sure to subscribe to Slash and Cast, Uncaged Games, and Laughin', who each have extended interviews going up on their channels too. Check it out, and we hope you enjoy Evil Dead when it releases this Friday, May 13th.
First of all, starting off, I really want to ask about the game mode, as it is, a specific set of objectives each match. How do you plan on addressing replayability and extending the game's life cycle with objectives like that?
So one of the great things about Evil Dead the game is that the world that it takes place in is huge. We are going to address replayability through the interactions that the player has in the world and in character progression. So yes, the objectives in the core gameplay are repeat, but the locations are different. The fact that we can drive, the fact that there's unique kind of gameplay encounters, there's a lot of emergent gameplay, and then through player character progression. After you finish a match, you earn spirit points. Those can be converted to skill points, and you can apply those to specific characters. So you can kind of drill deep into characteristics and abilities of any of the characters that you might want to continue playing with. And then lastly, you can play by yourself and you can play with your friends. So you don't always need to have 4 people to have a good time in the game.
Asymmetrical horror games struggle with finding a balance between player roles. What steps do you plan to take to overcome these strugglings with balance and create a fun experience for both survivors and demons?
The approach we took was more of just a lot of testing, a lot of play testing, a lot of just iteration on all the different abilities that the survivors have. When you get in there and you have the demons versus the survivors, if a demon player is more into focusing on possession, for example, there are characters that can counter that possession. So each play style has a survivor or demon ability that can counter each other, and we just play tested the crap out of them until they were just really focused on the fun in between and how they all interact together.
Obviously, there's a lot more to Evil Dead than just Ash. However, it's clear that many fans jumping into the game for the first time may want to exclusively play Ash. Was there an emphasis on making other characters from the franchise just as interesting as Ash with their unique abilities in the game?
First of all, we have enough Ashes for everybody. There's 4 Ashes, one from each film and one from the television series. But we found, because of the unique abilities and quips and appearance of the other characters, not everybody wants to play as Ash once you learn how to play the game.
Yeah, we actually did some experiments where in one game we all played as a different Ash, and it did not work out so well, to be honest. The dream team, the perfect combination, is definitely deeper into the roster of characters. And like Craig said, people will gravitate towards their favorite character. There are 2 characters I play, and they're both not Ash.
You're a Cheryl main. I can see it on your face.
I am Cheryl and Amanda. I either want to support my team or I want to kick butt.
I like Ed Getley.
Okay.
Or Henry the Red. Those are my 2.
And I'm strictly a demon player.
Do you have a certain class for that as well?
I usually go Necromancer, Evil Ash. I've just got a soft spot for, Army of Darkness and skeletons and stuff, so I've always got to pick it.
That's awesome.
I'll spoil those good.
Evil Dead, like I said, has so much lore from the movies, the comics, the TV shows. Is this game gonna take a little bit of all that and put it in as like Easter eggs? Is the story gonna intertwine, or is it gonna be all their own separate thing?
Yes, it's full of Easter eggs and things to find and references and nods, and the game itself exists in its own piece of story within the Evil Dead universe. It all started with Professor Nobi finding the Book of the Dead and reading it, the Necronomicon, and recording himself and accidentally summoning the Kandarian demon in the cabin. What our game does is we have these additional Nobi recordings, and in our game you can get rewarded with different Nobi recordings, and when you put them together, they kind of exist within the cracks and crevices of the story that you already know. We're filling in some blanks. We're starting scenes before the movie might have started them and having a little bit beforehand. And where we go is that he continues to make these recordings, and he's looking at the Necronomicon and sees the hero from the sky. He sees this is, there's a picture of Ash with the chainsaw in the Necronomicon. So he's trying to summon the hero from the sky. And as he's trying to summon, he accidentally summons lots of characters who are friends of Ash's and who have worked alongside Ash through all the different iterations of Evil Dead. And this is how we explain how all of these characters from the different universes of Evil Dead have come together into one place to play.
Wow. That's a great explanation, and that answers my question. How is it possible that there's 4 Ashes on a single team? That is how. How do you feel Evil Dead the game will stand apart from other asymmetrical games?
I think the formula that's been used a lot, and rightfully so, would be that survivors are usually hiding from, the bad guy. The killer is always out to get them. In Evil Dead's case, it's flipped. It's the survivors are pretty much going against the demon. They're fighting back. They're not going to hide in the corners. They're not going to try to hide in a house and hide upstairs in the dark. They're finding weapons to pretty much just kick ass against the demon and bring the fight to them.
Yeah, and if you watch the movies and the TV shows, in that kind of visceral, over the top, in your face kind of gore action that you see, you get to play that. I mean, we have some really cool glory kills where you're just like chopping Deadite heads off, knocking guys and hitting them. So that fun that you see in the TV show, you'll be able to do in the game. So you're definitely bringing the fight to the enemy.
Yeah, when I played it, it did feel like right off the bat, like I actually had a chance to survive. In other games, the killer's chasing you or something. But in this, it makes me feel I have a chance to survive. This game makes me feel like I could actually live.
Will the game have single-player bots is a question that's been circulating around Reddit a lot. When you're playing the normal 1v4, outside of the single-player missions, will there be bots like your Kandarian Demon, like you're playing the Kandarian Demon, and then, then there's just bots kind of running around?
So in Evil Dead the game, we give players many ways to play. The different options are you can play the core experience as a survivor with survivor AI controlled bots, for lack of a better word, and then against an AI controlled demon. Or if you just have like you and your friends just want to kick Deadite ass together and you don't want to get on the internet and get beat by a 12-year-old playing the demon, you can totally just play as survivors against a computer controlled demon. Lastly, if you're kind of like me and sometimes you just want to play by yourself, you can play one of these kind of side missions that we have. Now, it's not a single player campaign, it's not story mode, but we have separate solo missions where you can dive deeper into the lore, into the experience. You can, practice your skills, and by completing those, you can unlock different characters and skins. We really want to give players an opportunity to do more than just always have 5 people to play with. And we do think that is one thing that will help separate this game from the other asymmetrical horror type games.
Very cool. The Kandarian Demon itself, I noticed that at the finale, it has to basically try to destroy the Necronomicon in order to get through the match. Now, what happens if, say, the Kandarian Demon just avoids the survivors the whole match, waits till the end, and then just tries to destroy the book? Could they get away with that?
It would be a very poor strategy on the demon's part if that's what they chose to do.
Yeah.
As the match goes on, the survivors are getting stronger as they're finding upgrades and building up their characters. And without the interaction with the demon, if the demon stayed by itself, it wouldn't be getting as strong.
Mm-hmm.
So going into that final phase, if you were just kind of hanging out the whole match, you wouldn't
They'd be overwhelmed
at the same level. Yeah, you would get your butt kicked. Absolutely.
Okay. In the current finale, you fight the Dark Ones as the finale. Is there any plans for new finales? For example, like Evil Dead 2, where he has to fight the Rotten Apple Head. You could put, a face somewhere, but the demon's still doing his normal thing. But then there's that big boss, like a sort of like a boss thing.
Not to give anything away, we have talked about those types of things, and we're kind of looking at what it would take because there are some cool stuff. There's like the pit creature, remember from Army of Darkness,
Right.
and then there's some cool bad guys from Ash versus Evil Dead, the TV series. But our goal is to stay flexible and robust, and try to steer with the flow of what people want.
Very cool. Very cool. I appreciate that. That was all my questions. I appreciate the time you guys took to answer those. I'm really looking forward to it.
Thanks again to Laughin', Uncaged Games, and Slash and Cast. Don't forget to check out their channels for extended Q&A footage. We can't wait for you all to get your hands on Evil Dead the game this coming Friday, May 13th.